Felix Gallardo is a very high-functioning psychopath.
Who was Felix Gallardo? Miquel Angel Félix Gallardo, born January 8, 1946, also known by the nickname El Padrino, is a Mexican drug lord. He formed the Guadalajara Cartel in the 1970s and controlled nearly all smuggling routes in Mexico along to the US-Mexico border. He was the mentor of El Chapo. Felix Gallardo was arrested for the murder of US DEA agent Enrique Camarena and was sentenced to 37 years in prison, which he currently is serving. Felix Gallardo was born on a farm of the outskirts of Culiacán. He studied business administration and he found work as a federal agent. He worked as a guard for Leopoldo Sánchez Celis, governor of the Sinaloa state. His political connections helped Felix Gallardo build his drug smuggling organization. He collaborated with Rafael Caro Quintero and Ernest Fonseca Carrillo. They took over the smuggling routes of Pedro Aviles Perez after he was killed in a shootout with the police. In the early 1980s, most drugs entered the United States through Florida. However, shipments were increasingly intercepted by US authorities, prompting Colombian drug cartels to turn their attention to Mexico. Felix Gallardo was in contact with Juna Mata Balestros of the Cali cartel. The Mexicans were allowed to sell half of the smuggled cocaine for their own gain. It's estimated that the agreement yielded Felix Gallardo and his companions $6 billion annually. DEA agent Enrique Camarena infiltrated Felix Gallardo's organization in 1984. He discovered the existence of marijuana plantations covering 1,000 hectares in Colonia Buffalo, Chihuahua. Thousands of workers worked on plantation and existence was known to the local police, administrators and the army. The plantation was substantially destroyed by 450 soldiers. Camarena also began exposing the connections between the various drug lords and the close ties between the cartels and senior government officials with the ruling Institutional Revolutionary Party. At the behest of Felix Gallardo, the DEA agent was kidnapped by Jalisco Police Department on February 7, 1985, after he left the US consulate. His helicopter pilot, Alfredo Zavala Alvalar, suffered the same fate. Both men were taken to Felix Gallardo farm where they were interrogated and tortured for 30 hours. Camarena was killed with a drill that made a hole in his head. Camarena's death sparked one of the largest DEA investigations ever. Felix Gallardo, along with Carrillo and Quintero, were identified as the main suspects. Felix Gallardo still enjoyed political protection, but both his accomplices were arrested and convicted. Felix Gallardo himself moved back to Guadalajara and decided to divide his drug organization into different territories. They could be led by men who were little or not known to the DEA. In this way, Felix Gallardo also hoped that the attention would be diverted from himself. He himself would still be responsible for the overarching activities, but would no longer interfere with the organization at a detailed level. With his new form of work, he also laid the foundation for the drug war that would dominate Mexico for the beginning of the 21st century, because the various drug cartels that resulted from the partition nevertheless started to compete with each other. Under pressure from the United States, Felix Gallardo was finally arrested on April 8, 1989. He was sentenced to 37 years in prison. For the first few years, he continued to lead his organization from his cell by mobile phone. After he came out, he was transferred to Mexican security prison near Aloma Juarez. There he stayed in a cell measuring 2.4 by 4.4 meters that was not allowed to leave. Felix Gallardo complained of vertical and increasing hearing loss. In December 2014, federal authorities on health complaints agreed to transfer him to a more lenient prison in Guadalajara. His life is portrayed in the series Narcos Mexico.